All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
All right, so I'm just going to start explaining from the beginning, okay? Now, I said, assuming we have a candlestick this way, all right? Now, let us assume that this is a bearish candlestick, all right? So now a bearish candlestick usually will open from the top and close at the bottom, okay? At the bottom. Now, this is a candlestick that formed this way, okay? Now, when a candlestick has a wick, all right, basically a wick leaves traces of what? Of transactions, all right? So if we have a bearish candlestick this way, all right, let's assume this candlestick, let's assume it sold, all right, it sold, and then at a point it got rejected and started going up this way, and then let's say it closed here. Now, this wick that formed here has left what? A trace of the transactions that took place, all right? What it's actually trying to tell you is that, oh, I actually sold down to this level. I've actually sold down to this level. But then for some reason, I got rejected. I'm going bullish. All right. And in most cases, you tend to see after such rejections, at least you get to see some bullish move, if not immediately, but later on. All right. Now, when you are trading this kind of thing, all right, you should have it at the back of your mind that in most cases, okay, price will come back maybe the first time to test the open of the candlestick, all right? Price will come back to test the open of the candlestick, and then maybe later on, all right, come back for the 50% of the candlestick, all right? Then price can maybe later on come back for 50% of the candlestick. Okay. Price can later on come back for 50% of the candlestick, all right? So maybe later on you can see after such weak rejection, you can get to see that, all right, maybe price was coming down, blah, 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 and then you saw this candlestick. Now price might go back up, all right? Maybe break a structure to the left, come back, and maybe retest the opening of the candlestick, go back up, you do the whole move, and then later on, this is going to come back and retest what? 50% of the candlestick. And then it keeps on going up. Now, this is the whole concept, all right? So maybe when you have don't forget, you don't just trade these wicks blindly, all right? You use them as your POI. You have analyzed, you've gotten your daily buyers or whatever buyers you're getting. You've known the direction that you anticipate that price will actually go in. And then you see maybe a market structure shift, and then you are now looking for an entry. Now, you would not always see a fair value gap, all right? You don't always see an imbalance. You most likely don't always see another block, all right? Sometimes what you're going to see is a wick like this. And you can use this wick for an entry. You will not always see an inducement, all right? Sometimes you're going to see wicks like this. Now, how do you use the wick for your entry? You put your entry at the opening of the wick, all right? Stop loss either above or below the loop, all right, depending on what setup you have, all right? So you put your entry at the opening of the week, okay? Now, at the back of your mind, the price will actually test the opening of the week and later come back on for the 50% of the week, all right? So enough of the illustrations, let's dive into real chart and look for example, what I'm actually trying to say right here. Oh my God, clear joints. All right, so let us see, don't forget, all right? I told you that use them as your POI, all right? So now let us just use, I'm actually going to replay this so you understand. So you can also use this opportunity to learn, what's it called? To learn analysis, all right? So let's start from the daily. Let's see what the daily has for us here. Okay, now from the daily, we can see something amazing on the daily, all right? On the daily, we can see that price clearly did what? Oh, price tapped into a fair value gap. Right? Price tapped into a fair value gap. So now, seeing the order flow, we actually bearish from the onset. So for price to actually tap into this fair value gap, then we could actually see some possible downward move, because definitely price has what gap buy side liquidity. So let us check H4 for more clarity. So currently, you have clarification. Now, what is important? Like I said, we actually did grab buy side liquidity over here. All right. So if you check, you're gonna see what the buy side liquidity taken. Buy side liquidity taken. All right. And then we also have, okay, let us use the 4 hour what's it called, fair value gap. All right. So we have a fair value gap here that price has tapped into. Okay, so bearish moves. All right. So now we are bearish. We are bearish at least till price gets maybe somewhere here. All right. Somewhere there, or even this low. All right. So this low here happens to be my major swing low. So I want price to maybe sell down to this low, or at least somewhere around here. All right. So now we are bearish. We are looking for bearish move. So let's see what the H1 has to offer. All right. Now looking at, okay, to the left, we've actually grabbed buy side liquidity. I'll actually just scale down to my 15 minutes time frame to have a better view of stuff. A better view of stuff. Now, amazing. Okay. Now, this is what I'm actually trying to explain to you. All right. This is what I want to explain to you. Okay. Now, if you look to your left, all right, we've had a market structure shift already. Price took out this high. Price took out this high. All right. Then we had what? Then we had price take out this low. All right. So at this point here, we've had a market structure shift. Okay. Now, where do you look for entries? If you check, this other block is almost not making any sense. Because look at the long crazy week, look at the huge candle. So now in this case, you wouldn't be using another block for entry. What you're going to be using, look at this week that formed here now. This is a transaction week. What price is actually trying to tell you is that these buyers were really going up, but then at some point, while they were carrying on their transactions, they were rejected and then boom, they formed this week. So in this case here, all right, even though we actually have an inducement, now this is an inducement. So if you actually want to make this is an inducement, and this is also internal liquidity. All right. So if you want to make use of the inducement, fine. What's wrong with my trading view, for God's sake? What's wrong with my trading view? Hello, can you guys hear me? Ah,